Are you serious?
Do you know the way out? Come on.
Kanan?
Seems like the best idea we've got. Let's go.
This is good. When it gets strange like this, it's a good thing.
How have you people stayed alive so long?
You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? Should I have? It's a ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
Hey everyone, and welcome to
Kessel Run Weekly.
My name is Danny.
I'm Heather.
And today, it's just us! Woo! So we don't have a special guest this week or anything, but doesn't mean that episode is going to be any less more awesome, because we've got a lot of awesome stuff to talk about, actually. So we're continuing our Rebels review with the final season of Star Wars Rebel with these Star Wars Rebels with the two most latest episodes. Most latest, yeah. I know you love my wording. Kindred and Crawler Commandeers. I keep hearing people calling it Commanders, but it's not Commanders. But anyways, Crawler Commandeers. And so fair warning, which, I mean, multiple episodes I haven't given you warning. Spoilers abound. If you haven't known by now, spoilers abound. But we've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. A lot of fun stuff happened, especially in Kindred. Do you want to kind of give your first impressions before I completely fanboy out over here?
Okay, so the whole time during Kindred, at least, I was going,
right? Oh yes.
And then I was just, during the second one, I was just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely love Kindred more.
And then,
yeah.
So I guess this week I gave you more a literal first impression than a verbal one.
You couldn't be here, so we wanted to give you our reactions. Definitely. I definitely enjoyed Kindred a lot more than the Crawler Commandeers. I mean, the Crawler Commandeers was cool. It was, I think when you and I were talking about it earlier, it was more actiony as what we kind of arrived at. But I don't know, I guess us being kind of a story podcast, Kindred really spoke to our hearts, especially mine. The whole time I was freaking out because at one point I was holding my wife's hand. And it came around to some of the moments and everything, and I guess I squeezed her hand. I didn't realize it, and she was like, "Baby, you're squeezing me. You're squeezing my hand." I was like, "Sorry." But I was on the edge of my seat, so excited about this. But yeah, so you want to go ahead and dive into the episodes?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So the first episode, Kindred. My favorite.
Yes.
I would dare say almost my favorite Rebels episode.
Ever?
I wouldn't say ever. Almost ever. Because, you always have Twilight of the Apprentice. So there's that one. It comes real close, but it does come very, very close. For numerous reasons, but starting out with the episode, we get Kanan and Hera together, and everything they're hinting at everything having to revolve around Ezra. Where it's more so Kanan, and Hera's like, yeah, so what? We keep coming back here. Not a big deal. And he's like, no, there's something else with this.
See, I got less that it is about Ezra, and it's more about Lothal, I guess. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Well, I guess the reason why I feel that way is because, I've heard that this is supposed to be Ezra's saga. Right. Even though we have other characters that come out front every once in a while, it's all about Ezra and Ezra's home of Lothal. And so with them constantly coming back to Lothal, I wonder if Kanan is kind of feeling the end. I don't know, because there were quite a few moments where especially in the Crawler Commandeers where I was like, he's about to bite it. That's it. This is it. This is the time. All those catwalks and platforms.
Yes.
We know those are great in Star Wars.
Yes. Always a winner when you go out on a catwalk.
Right. That's when Han Solo and Kylo Ren bonded, right?
Yeah.
In Circular Base. Yeah. Yeah. And then Han, or I'm sorry, not Han, Luke.
A lot of
father
father-son bonding.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so I'm wondering, like, what's centering there? Like, I'm wondering if maybe this is more something to do with the Death Star, because obviously that's what we're building towards in a lot of ways. This whole something sinister and all this other kind of stuff. So I wonder what is happening on Lothal to maybe push towards that. I don't know. I don't know if maybe that's what they're hinting at, or if there's something really awful about to happen with Ezra. I mean, so I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I watched it differently, so I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't see that.
You're good. Well, no. So, well, I mean, you had said that you'd felt like it was more centered around Lothal, like.
Right. Yeah. I just thought, well, we just keep coming back to Lothal, and to me, it was more centered around them because he was like, I decided to stay here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay, and I thought that was kind of neat because, they don't get dates very often.
No.
That's as date as it gets.
Right. Well, and so I guess, I mean, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room here. So we finally got the kiss.
We did.
Chimera is finally confirmed, which, I mean, I don't feel like there was ever doubt that it wasn't a thing.
Well, no.
Chimera, but yeah. But I mean, at the same time, like, I mean, I don't know. I've never been one for like the romance on screen and like freaking out when somebody gets it. But that was, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm usually not the, kiss cheerleader, but
but that one, like, you just kind of had to cheer for it. Like, it was just like, finally, they get a moment.
But to me, honestly, when he grabbed her hand, that was just as satisfying.
I gotcha. Yeah. Well, see, I don't know. Like, I just wanted...
that was him to her. Yeah. Her to him is different.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's not like a kiss that really did it. It was that she finally let go and opened herself up a little bit.
Right. Well, and I liked that in all of that, he was challenging her. Because it wasn't I'm asking you this question and then backing down, because, I mean, he kind of did the same thing in, I think it was The Occupation, where they were in the alley. He was like, I mean, we haven't really gotten a whole lot of time together, kind of hinting at, hey, when is it going to be for us, and kind of and stuff like that. But this time, I mean, he was coming aggressive with it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, so what's life after this rebellion for you? What's that look like? And she's just like, I don't know what to tell you. And I mean, like, it was almost like he was refocusing her the way that you and I wanted to refocus her the entire last season.
Right.
Where he was like, look, I get that the rebellion's your thing. What's life after that look like? What's going on here and everything? But it always breaks my heart when characters start talking about life after anything, because that normally means that they are not part of that life. And so these whole 2 episodes, I was sure that he was gone. Thank God he wasn't. But at the same time,
I felt bad, like, because I kept thinking he was goner.
Oh yeah.
But I was glad that he's not yet.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. Yet. I still think it's coming because there's too much in that. Because I guess I maybe saw the kiss as more of a loose end to tie it between their characters. Right. And so I guess that's why that was so satisfying that it finally happened, which of course it couldn't happen without Filoni teasing us one more time for it. And then turns around and actually is like, okay, here you go, guys.
That
so
was
yeah.
funny.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, I'm really worried about Kanan at this point. I'm so scared for Kanan.
I would
like
be.
We just need to put him in a glass box and
would be a glass box.
Well, I don't know about a glass. Poke holes in it. I don't know. Just keep him there, man.
Could be a bubble boy.
Yes. So and then that I don't know what series of events where that was at, but I know we got our Hera hyper jump. You want to talk about that?
Yes. I loved that she just decided to go through the hangar.
Right?
I can't figure out how to do this, so.
Yep. Well, and I love the officer's reaction too, where he's like, "Sir, she'll never make it out of there. She's going into one of the construction spheres. We'll have her now." And then all of a sudden, she just blows through it. He's like, "Sir, she got away.
She got away."
But we seem to have lost her." And it's just like, really? But no, that was a cool looking scene, though.
That was.
It was so awesome. I think it was in the initial trailer too, or at least part of it, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember for sure. But yeah, no, that was definitely an awesome part. But I mean, it just goes to show that, I mean, Hera's flying ability. I mean, that's what's the coolest part about it. Because I mean, like, yeah, we got Space Mom finally, Space Mom, Space Dad, Space Family. But I mean, at her heart, she's a pilot, a combat pilot, nonetheless. So I mean, that was cool seeing her flying that way. What do you think?
I thought she was really good, and she had to get out of there because I mean, the little thing, the core thing, what is it called?
The core thing?
Yeah, that she had to get back to the rebellion.
Oh yeah. The I don't know if it. I don't think it was the hyperspace core. I don't know, but it was like the flight recorder thing. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was called.
Or something of that nature. Yeah,
they had all the schematics to the TIE Defender Elite.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so I was just like, you know, she had to get that back. So, yeah, I and there's a part of her that's like, I could show off just a little bit.
Right. maybe we'll have her do the try spinning. That's a cool trick. No, I'm just teasing.
I'll try spinning.
I think she's way past that. But no, I love Hera's flying though, because it's always like, even though there doesn't seem like there is a actual way out, she's like, I'm not taking no for an answer. Nobody's blocking me in for anything.
Right.
Like, it's happening.
Yeah, we're getting out of here. Don't worry about it.
So that was really cool, seeing her flying and everything. But something else happened on Lothal in the wake of the TIE Defender Elite crash landing and everything. Two characters that you love are kind of got a little squabble going on.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Pryce and Thrawn. I love Thrawn. And I love to hate Pryce.
I feel like that's the most accurate description of her character. Like, you just love to hate her.
So, yeah, and then Pryce is doing her, well, we'll have them soon, you know, the things she's always done, and it's always worked for her. And then Thrawn's like, look, we need to talk. Step into my office, please.
Yep. Definitely.
And I thought it was so funny because the look on her face, and he's just like, yeah, this is happening.
Oh, definitely. And it's been such a long time coming because, I mean, so Thrawn was the first novel that you and I read for the book club. First canon novel I ever read. And I mean, that tension has been building because, I mean, even though they didn't really make a huge deal of it, or I didn't feel like they did in these episodes, I mean, that's been building for quite some time.
It's still building. Yeah. You know, when Pryce decided not to put down the shield before she blew up the whole island, basically.
Yeah.
Thrawn knew that she did that, and there's nothing he could do about it. So he's been biding his time, and he didn't even like it when she did it. But you know, what was he gonna do? Really?
Right. Well, I mean, and she was the one threatening him in the book too about that. Like, what are you gonna do about it? You're tied to this, and yeah. And so it was kind of like she was the big dog on top at the moment, but the tables have turned greatly. So yeah, but no, I'm definitely interested to see how that plays out because I'd read something earlier, and I don't know if it's official confirmation or whatnot, so I guess we'll just call it speculation. But I'd read somebody had posted that Filoni had actually confirmed that Thrawn survives Rebels.
I guess I assumed the second book confirmed it.
Well, that's the thing, is we don't know where the second book really falls. So we know he's supposed to team up with Vader, but we don't know like where in what timeline, I guess. So I don't know. I mean, I guess that would make sense. But I don't know. I guess I didn't see that as confirmation personally.
Not confirmation, but like, you know. Yeah.
So yeah, well, I guess I was the only one that didn't.
No,
didn't
I just.
But yeah, no, you're fine.
I'm probably the one that's like totally way off base.
Well, no, apparently it's a thing, and
so is hot cows. So, yeah. So what are you gonna do?
I mean. So yeah, so I mean that's interesting to think that the villain Big Bad, who lasted last season, is going to actually outlive the series itself, and so I'm wondering where that's going to go and what's going to happen there. I just want a live action Thrawn. I think that would be awesome. Like, how crazy would it be to have like Benedict Cumberbatch to be Thrawn on screen? Like, that would be insane.
That would be pretty insane.
Oh yeah. I would absolutely love that. But yeah. So did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about on their couples feud?
Oh no, but
okay.
You know, it's like Thrawn brings in Rukh, and he's like Rukh.
Rukh. Yeah.
I can't, you know.
Yeah.
But
he's the only one that says it that way too. Rukh. Everybody else is like Rukh. Rukh.
Yeah. But yeah, so he brings in Rukh, and so that's our introduction to Rukh. Warwick Davis as Rukh.
Oh my gosh, it was so cool. It was so creepy too, because like it was just because I watched
off the thing and he was like, I smell a sign, and he's like, it's over there. He's not alone. I was like,
and the way he runs is just like, I hate it.
Can you imagine somebody just all of a sudden just taking off on 4 legs, running after you? Right.
I'm like, dude, you can have it, man. Whatever. I'm
Whatever
good.
you want. You just take it.
But yeah, no, Rukh was, he was creepy as everything. Because like it creeped me out, I think mostly because like he seems like he's just a skeleton with skin wrapped around him. Like, I mean, he's got some muscle definition to him, but for the most part, that's all he is. Like, it kind of gave me the impression that his skin's almost translucent in a way. But, like, I don't know. It was just kind of, like, it gave me the creeps. Warwick Davis played him awesome. Like,
I loved
that was so cool. Oh, yeah. Definitely. So, I was watching the Rebels Recon from the Star Wars show after this. And they were talking about Rukh and Warwick Davis and everything, and how it was really cool seeing Warwick Davis do the voice acting for him, but also how like Rukh came from the Legends universe. He was actually introduced in the same novel as Thrawn for Heir to the Empire. But like they were talking about how like in the Legends universe, because I mean the thing with smell was his whole thing in these episodes. Apparently, his sense of smell and like his species' sense of smell is so great that they could actually smell your lineage.
Wow.
So, like, you're related to so-and-so or something. I don't know, but it was just kind of like, what in the world? But apparently there's been different iterations of him and everything where he's been like a hulking creature all the way down to something really small and timid and everything.
Now he's a galloping
now he's a galloping creep.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, he's really cool. Like, I really hope that he's not a one-off of anything. Because, I mean, obviously, they're still on Lothal. So, I mean, Rukh naturally would still be on there as well. I don't feel like he's going to be like, well, lost the target. See you later, guys.
Well, no, he was there, and they lost the target, as I'm sure, because they went to the other side of the
hemisphere.
Yeah. And so it's like he's like let me go after them.
Mm-hmm.
I've obviously got a better track record than you do, and I've been here less than a day.
Right.
And she's like, no, I'm just going to bomb it.
Right. He's like,
Yeah.
I could totally get him. Because, I mean, in all honesty, I feel like he could have. Like,
He
he could have
could've.
tracked him into those caves.
He could have tracked
That
him
would've
way
been
better and faster than she could have done anything.
And she's just like, turn him in dust.
Yeah, let's just destroy a whole bunch of mountains. That's way more practical.
Right. Quicker, too.
Yeah.
I mean, really? But yeah, no. I think Pryce is kind of losing it a little.
Yeah, I think
she's grasping at power.
Yeah,
for now.
she's gone power hungry. She's
for sure.
Well, she's always been power hungry, but
Yeah.
she's just
I think
like,
she sees it getting away from her, though, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Where
it's
starting
like
to slip away because now she doesn't have anything to stand on. Thrawn is more powerful than her, and she is the governor of a planet that is falling apart due to rebel activity.
right.
So I mean, she's the one that's supposed to keep that under control, and she's not. So she's not much longer. She's not going to have a leg to stand on, and Thrawn's going to be like, well, you know what? I have somebody who's capable, and you're
Well,
not.
it is Star Wars. She might literally not have a leg to stand on.
I feel like you were waiting on that the whole time. No, I'm just
Was
teasing. I'm just teasing. That's pretty good, though. That's pretty good. She's enjoying Saw and the the one-leg wonders.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, like, I really liked all that the whole speeder bike showdown between them. I thought that was really cool. I didn't understand like how they were able to just like ignore that there was a tracker. Like, I get maybe they didn't see it happen, but you've got to understand that. I mean, this thing just sniffed you in armor, couldn't tell who you were, and just was like, "Oh yeah, you're totally not a stormtrooper. You're the person I'm looking for." And you're going to think that he's not going to have a tracking device.
A tracking device.
Yeah.
So, Seth, my 11-year-old, whenever Rukh was going, he's like, "No, that character can't die." and then he went over and he was like, maybe, no, yes.
So he was cheering for Rukh.
Oh yeah, and he was doing
That's
the
awesome.
whole, like,
Yeah.
because I mean, he knew the rebels were gonna make it, but he really liked Rukh. He
Oh,
just,
man.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool, especially when Rukh went all BMX professional biker over there. He's like, "Oh, all you idiots are running into it. I'm gonna go over it, so you can have your fun down here." But yeah, I feel like and going back toward when we were talking in the last couple episodes about the stormtrooper deaths, like it's coming out to the forefront because like I cringed when that happened, when that one got hit by the rock that blew up.
I'm
Like,
telling you,
you know it hit
to
him.
me every time. Because every time it's like, yep, that one went down a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one went down like the high wall. That one went down a chasm.
Well, it's just more jarring to me because, like, I mean, that's the kind of stuff like you see in like live action, like,
Or an entire interdictor gets
shows,
blown
yeah.
up.
Yeah, well,
How many of them are there on there? I mean,
but I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like the show's ever like put that to the forefront. And seeing that one just get smashed like that, I was just like, "Oh, all right, well, we did that, so that's cool."
that happened.
I was like, "Oh, dang!" But I mean, like, I almost kind of feel like because it's the final season, and I mean, they're ending towards the huge Rebel assault, which is our next couple episodes. I feel like Filoni's kind of putting the ugliness of war a little bit more to the front. So the Loth Wolves, that's the next thing we need to talk about in this episode. So our Loth Wolves are back.
Loth Wolves, yes.
Yes. So you told me that you thought of me when you heard this. Kristen even looked at me and was like, "You say that all the time." When they look back and they were like, "Oh, let's follow the Loth Wolves," and Zeb's like, "When it gets strange like this, it's a good thing."
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
I love it.
Weird Star Wars is great Star Wars.
Weird
I love
Star
it.
Wars is great Star Wars. Yeah, I definitely thought of you because, like, yeah, wolves just kind of walking around doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was so
Oh,
great.
definitely. And I love how the whole time Ryder is throwing sass at him, like, "Are you kidding me? We're not following them. Or what are you doing? Like, is this how have you guys survived this long?"
I know.
But I love that whole sequence with that and everything. But I did want to ask what you thought too. So we had 3 wolves this time instead of the one. 1 white and 2 black, and it reminded me of the certain trio we had in Clone Wars in our Mortis arc.
Right.
The father, the son, and the daughter. I want to know what you thought of that.
See, I don't know. I didn't see that. I saw that there were these Force-sensitive wolves that had hyperspace capabilities within the planet of Lothal.
Which is insane.
Which is insane. And they are a species.
Mm-hmm. A hyperspace species, no season. Something crazy with it. But no. Well, and I think, in all honesty, like, I didn't have anything beyond that there's 3 of them and they're Force sensitive.
Right. I don't know. I just didn't get that, but I can see how that would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, well, and I don't think that it is them. I like the symbolism of it. And so, because I mean, we've always got this trinity of some kind of power, and then you have these 3 wolves, and these 3 wolves are the ones that lead them out. I mean, really, in all honesty, 1 wolf could have done it justice. So why 3? And so I don't know. Like I like thinking too much about stuff like that, like thinking way too deep into it. But like as soon as I saw the 3, and then you had the white one that's sitting here all regal and everything, like it reminded me of the father, how he carried himself and how he was and everything.
But then on the other side of the hemisphere, there were the 2 wolves that were standing outside guarding the door.
Were those not the same 2 that came with them?
They were white, I thought.
Oh, were they? Oh, okay. See, I missed that.
I might have missed that they were dark.
I don't know. I'll have to go look. I'll have to look back at that then. But no, so I love the whole hyperspace scene. Like, what in the world? That was so trippy.
Cool.
Yeah, it was. It was just awesome, especially like how they were doing it, because it didn't make it seem like it was going really fast or anything. It was like they were walking on water in space.
Right.
Like, just that whole scene was just beautiful. It was so cool. Like, I mean, when I was watching it for the first time, I was literally on the edge of my seat, my jaw just dropped. I was like, this is amazing.
Well, I loved that they showed you that if you're warping something, it's not how fast you're going, really. It's just kind of the path that you take to get there.
Hey. How many parsecs do you think they went? No, I'm just teasing. So I'm this time we had the wolf interact with Kanan more so, because they were talking like, even Ezra was like, Kanan, it wants you.
Right.
And
he's looking at you.
Yeah, he's looking at you and he's like, I know. Because I mean, I could imagine you could kind of feel the stare of that hulking creature in front of you, blind or not. It's just like, yeah, I feel like it. I feel like he's going to make me a snack probably. So, but yeah, no, I thought it was really cool though that it still says Doom right in front of Kanan. And he's like, well, what does he mean? And I mean, obviously that's what we thought last time. For sure. Like, I didn't think it was DOOM, but I mean, that's what we had thought last time, that it was his name.
Right.
They confirmed it this time. And I thought it was cool to hear Kanan admit it, because that's not a name he's gone by in years and years. Right.
I mean, not ever, but like, ever
in a very
long time.
Yeah. Right. I mean, even since before he met Hera.
Right.
So yeah. So, I mean, that was cool having him bring that back up, but I'm wondering why. Like that's my thing. So because even though he seems to think that everything's centered around Ezra and Lothal, things seem to be centering around him at the moment, which scares the fire out of me.
Him and Lothal.
Yeah.
I mean, him
Yeah.
being, but yeah.
Right. So I'm interested to see it, and I kind of got the feeling though that they used his name as a double meaning this time. I think we may have gotten Doom this time instead of just Doom, because he called out Doom, and then that's when he admitted his name to Ezra, and then they were talking about what it wants and all this other kind of stuff, and how it's deeply connected to the Force, like it has a purpose. It's like honed in on it and everything. And then as it's leaving, it says Doom again, almost like it was answering, "This is my purpose." And so I don't know if it's his purpose to do something with Kanan. I kind of got the idea that was them, that was the wolf warning them at that point.
Probably.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Because it seemed, I mean, he probably didn't say it any different. Again, I look for things where there are no things. He probably didn't say it any different, but at the same time, like it made it feel more dark to me. Because, okay, now we know who Doom is, and we've admitted it, and now we're talking about, well, it's a honed, basically the Force is honed in a certain way to it, and it's here for a purpose. And then it says again, Doom. And
Right.
so it's just kind of like, okay. So I don't know. That's what I kind of found out, what I
that's cool.
felt about it. So yeah. So cool. So did you have anything else you wanted to talk about in Kindred?
Not that I can think of. Are the wolves at all in the second one?
No, not at all.
Okay. So
Other than them getting to the southern hemisphere out of nowhere.
when
Yeah.
Kanan is up to the wolf, why did he bring us here? And he put his hand, whatever. Anyway, I was like, please be Depa. Please be Depa.
Right?
Please.
I was wanting him to realize something like that. That would be so awesome.
I wanted him to, just for you. I was like, just waiting.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is like, I don't think that the wolf is literally Depa Billaba, but at the same time, but like that Force energy, because it resides in all living things. And so who's to say that a Jedi, his master, has gone to be part of the Force? Who's to say that she can't come to help him on his journey or something like that? Even if the wolf's not like, hey, my name's Depa Billaba. I don't think it'll say more than that, because right now all we've gotten out of it is 2 words, sleep and doom. So I don't think it's very fluent in basic, but at the same time, but I think that I just think that would be really cool, just like a little extra something, because we never hear about his master in Rebels. Every once in a while he talks about his master, and all he says is my master or my old master or something like that, but you never hear her name. And so to have her name come into that, I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, I think the only time they mention her name is the Inquisitor mentions it. I think is the only time.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, so I'm excited about the Loth Wolves. That's my favorite thing right now. That's what I'm like honing in on. So if I have these crazy theories online, guys, and you see me posting on Instagram with some really silly stuff, that's probably what's going on. Yeah. I'm dissecting the Loth Wolves in some ways. So yeah. All right, so next up we have Crawler Commandeers. It's so hard to say. Like, it doesn't really roll off the tongue. So our team is on the southern half of the hemisphere now. Yes. And we're seeing what they're using to light up the surface where that fire that we saw in an earlier episode, finding out what actually is going on with that. What did you think of this episode?
I was not bored, because I mean there were things to do and developments and things, but I am less action centric and more story centric, so this one didn't quite appeal to me as much. I liked that when Ezra and the furnace thing happened, but we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure. But
definitely.
The rest was just kind of like cheesy rebels, duping the Empire and
Right. It felt like a lot of season 1 to me.
Yeah.
Like what they would have done in the beginning.
Right. And I didn't feel like a lot of closing off of loose ends or anything. It just seemed like a bunch of, like do.
Right. I got that feeling too, because I feel like this episode should have actually been the first one. Like, obviously I get that it couldn't have been in the timeline of it, but at the same time, like that, it feels like it should have been the opener. Like, okay, here's the cutesy cheesy rebels and the fun that they have, and they rescue people and they do their thing, and then here's the big, dark, deep story.
Right.
It felt like it was a little reversed, because I'm with you. I wasn't bored. Like, it was still a fun Rebels episode.
Right.
At the same time, though, it was kind of like its own thing. It was like, okay, so we've learned all these things. We escaped to the southern hemisphere somehow by the way of the Force or something.
Well, it's a hyperspace.
Well, a hyperspace
through the planet.
Yeah. Right. So we found a shortcut wormhole, something or another.
Exactly. Makes perfect sense.
Right. Definitely. If you don't think about it too hard. No, jeez. But like, so the big takeaways that I felt with the Crawler Commandeers, though, is first off, the rebel inaction strikes again, with them sitting on their hands and not wanting to do anything again. I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. I thought we resolved this.
No, we didn't resolve the rebels in action. We resolved Hera's.
That's true. Because at one point, I felt like she was on the side of Mon Mothma of, oh, we can't do this yet. We can't do this yet. And she was kind of just following. But now that it was directed at her, she's like, whoa. This isn't happening. This is not what we're going to do.
Right.
So, yeah. But I like seeing her go toe-to-toe with the Council of the Rebellion. That was awesome. Even so far as to Bail Organa going, this is a closed meeting. Like she cares.
She totally put Bail Organa in his place, and I was like, yeah.
It's like, she definitely cares that you're in a formal meeting after you just told her, no, we're not going to do anything for you, even though that planet's burning to the ground.
Right.
She'll absolutely stand by. No, I'm glad that this Hera's back. The one that has that fire. And then finally she's like, look, here's what we're going to do. This is what's going to happen. We're going to mount an assault, and you're going to like it. It's just going to happen. And so I really, really liked that out of her. I'm really digging the fire in her this season.
I am too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And we were actually talking at one point earlier today about the TIE Defenders, about how in one of the earlier episodes, I think it was in The Name of the Rebellion, with Saw, how the Ghost Crew just took them out.
Yeah, and I was like, they're making such a big deal out of this ship, and it's...
Well, and see, I'm wondering if this new ship is a new prototype. So, because they made a mention to say Defender Elite for this one.
Right.
And before that, I feel like we'd only ever heard TIE Defender.
Okay. Because, she got rid of 3 of them.
Right. Just take them in some fog, you're going to be okay. They don't do well in low visual areas.
Low visibility.
So I'm wondering if this is like the upgrade to those 3 that blew up, kind of thing.
Right.
They're like, oh hey, we got duped by some fog. Let's
kick
make
this
that
up a notch.
Yeah, let's fix that. So I'm really interested to see. Obviously we know it ties into the Rebel Assault, which apparently next episode we get our X-Wings. I'm so freaking excited. Cue dance music. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I'm really excited about that. I'm wondering if they're going to have to go up against some Defender Elites in the next thing and everything too. But yeah, we get Ezra's voice acting skills back in this episode.
He gets to try to sound.
That was perfect. I love it. Man. Well, and my thing is like they keep doing that, but has it worked yet? Like, so he did it in one of the earlier episodes, almost got them killed, and they're like, "Oh well, Ezra, you're up again." It's like,
it's a trope, though. It's a Star Wars thing, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the very first episode, we got Han, you know. Hi, there's no problem down here. Yeah, no issues here. You know.
How are you?
How are you doing?
That's true. I didn't think about it that way.
It's just kind of a thrown in thing, like, haha, they're doing it again because it's
right. I can see that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I enjoy it. It cracks me up every time. Especially the way that they have to make Ezra's character look on there in order to, like, all the stretching and everything that he was doing with it. It was so cool. Like, I can imagine that I just blanked. Taylor Gray. I can imagine him doing that in the booth or something like that. It's like, oh, those movements that you see? Yeah, he did that actually. But yeah, no, I love any time that they do that. It never works. So it's just hilarious when they're like, "Oh yeah, kid, you're up. Do your thing." It's like, okay, all right,
I got this.
Totally, yeah. So cool. So what was one of your favorite moments in this episode?
When Ezra saw his lightsaber there, and instead of calling his lightsaber to him or anything, you know, like trying to get it, you know, whatever. He knew what was going to happen, and he let the guy fall into the furnace. That is what my favorite moment was.
Oh, yeah. He watched him.
Watched him,
that was not an accident.
Just kind of relished it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Which makes me wonder what kind of Ezra we're about to get. What's happening with it, because he's always struggled with the dark side. Well,
Yes.
dark side and the light side. I mean, he's been back and forth more times than I can count. But I mean, that battle's obviously not over yet. Like, I actually wrote in my notes, he had some Batman justice. With, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. So,
Right.
so yeah. But no, that was dark though, because like even though it made it look like it was an accident, at the same time, like he sat there and watched it happen.
I watched
it's
it
like-
like 3 or 4 times just to see if maybe I missed him moving the lightsaber.
Mhm. Oh yeah, just to see if he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think he saw the opportunity and was just like, okay, yeah. But yeah, it was. I'm interested to see what that means for his character, because I mean, in all honesty, it's still the Ezra Bridger saga. I mean, that's what Rebels is. He is the main character. It's his story for the most part. So how does that play into who Ezra is? Is there an Ezra lurking under the surface there that we don't know? Then maybe he's already gone to the dark side. I don't know. Like, it's just because I mean, I don't feel like he actually has already gone to the dark side, just because he's still interested in helping people.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe he could be the closest we have to, I mean, what Legends would be Gray. I mean, obviously they're not canon, but at the same time, like somebody kind of wielding both. I don't know.
Right.
So, yeah. So that was definitely a shaky moment for Mr. Bridger there. Oh yeah, definitely. We had a couple of cool call outs in the episode too. So Protocol 13.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Protocol 13 is Jeddah evacuation in Rogue One, and it is terrifying.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, just think, you're an occupied planet, and all of a sudden, everyone who's been there for the longest times, or Empire, just gone.
Order
Just
to
evacuate.
leave.
Yeah,
Order leave now, by the way, because if you don't,
you're left behind. You'll turn to stardust.
yeah.
So yeah, and good old Vizago comes back, all that good stuff. So yeah.
Yes.
I don't feel like there was really much to dissect out of the second part, except for Ezra's dark moment that he had.
Right.
Yeah, and then we have the Rebel assault coming and everything. So I mean, for the most part, it was a good episode.
It
I
really
thought.
was. I liked
Yeah.
it. I mean, it just wasn't like earth-shattering like the Kindred was.
Right. No, Kindred was awesome. Like, I feel like I'm gonna go watch it again right after this, to be honest, just for fun. But I mean, like, yeah, like Kindred was definitely my favorite out of the two for sure. But it was cool seeing the crew in action, working together again, and everything, and working together closer and more in sync than I feel like they ever have. Right. Because I felt like in the earlier seasons, you always had one or the other who had an alternate agenda or something that they were like, oh, well, I can do this and do the thing I'm supposed to do instead of just staying on mission. Whereas in this, we see them, they go in, they infiltrate, they got it. Even though it doesn't go exactly to plan, it's not because they didn't do something. So yeah. So, I mean, I like seeing them all in sync and everything.
Yeah, really. They make a great team. They've become a great little space family.
Oh, yes.
Thing.
I love Space Family. I'm going to miss Space Family when it's gone. But yeah, so cool. So did you have any final thoughts or anything on the episodes?
Can't think of anything.
All right, guys. So that concludes our review for Kindred and Crawler Commandeers. Thank you guys for watching or listening. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube, Kessel Run Weekly. A little simple to find, where you can see all the goodness that we have available to you and more, because we have some cool stuff coming up here in the near future. We're really, really excited about. So definitely subscribe, and then you'll be the first to know. If you want to check us out on social media, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Kessel Run Weekly. And on our website, everywhere, KesselRunWeekly.com. And so, for this episode, my name is Danny.
I'm Heather.
And may the Force be with you.